it's a really fun one. We're going to do 20 business acronyms that are used by marketers in 2019. So many of you may have heard all of these different abbreviations of all different terms, and you're thinking, what exactly are those terms? What do they mean? So I'm going to go through 20 of them, and we're going to make this video really interesting because what I want you to do is actually note down how many of them you know yourself, and then leave your score in the comment section below. And from the people who leave all of those comments, I'll pick a winner and potentially send over, like a little gift, maybe something like PayPal or something, just for you guys participating. But yeah, so let's get straight into it now. A majority of these that might be in the list are going to be really orientated around specifically like affiliate marketing and whatever else, because I know a lot of people who watch this channel are into just that, so that's really what it's orientated around. But there's many other terms that are quite generically used across the board of the internet for marketers as well in here. All right, so the first one, CPA, which means cost per action marketing. So make sure to note down if you got that right, if you knew what CPA is. And cost per action, that's what that means. And that's just used for, a type of marketing online, which is cost per action or per acquisition. So you get paid on each action that's made. So usually it's based around a purchase. So a CPA offer will be like something like when someone makes a purchase of a product through your affiliate link, you are affiliated to the product and you are the one who brand the traffic, so you get the commission. Okay, then there's CPL. So do you know what that means? That means cost per lead. And that means basically the same thing as CPA, but this time you get paid for just sending a lead over to the business. So that could be obviously just a phone number or an email or something like that, some point of contact that the business can then use to contact the customer later on, and you get a commission for that. The next one is CPM. This is something that's used on YouTube as well, so this is quite interesting. And this one means cost per 1,000 views. So sometimes it's based on impressions and sometimes it's based on views. But CPM, correct me if I'm wrong, just stands for 1,000. So it can be used for different metrics, but 1,000 per 1,000. So when you see someone getting like $4 CPM on YouTube, it means they're getting $4 per 1,000 views. Okay, but in marketing, it can sometimes be used to abbreviate the impressions, which is just how many times something is shown on a page. Okay, then the next one is CPC. Now this one means cost per click. So this one is how much you will pay for a specific advertisement. Yeah, advertisement. So for example, if you're running Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever else, the CPC is how much you're going to pay per click. Okay, so cost per click, how much it's going to cost you. Okay, now PPC, do you know what that means? That means pay per click, which is really interesting. And this is on a range from 0 to 1 on the tool that I use. I don't know how it's actually used in metric wise on other platforms, but for SEO, this is representing how much competition there is for a particular keyword, which is pay per click, how much people are prepared to pay per click. Yeah, and then we've got B2B. Do you know what that means? That means business to business, and that's used in social media marketing. So you might hear people like Angus who use it a lot, and what that means is basically when you're doing a business to business service. So that means obviously that you're selling something that helps a business. So for example, social media marketing, you are a business and you go and actually target businesses as your customers. So you go and try and sell your business to other businesses. Then there's B2C. So that's B2C. And that actually means business to consumer. So that's like obviously what you find the majority of businesses based around. And this time it's actually your business, which is then reaching out to a potential customer, which is a consumer, obviously buying something from you, whether it be a service or product. Okay, now the next one is CTA. I almost thought it was the same one from the beginning, which was CPA, but this is CTA, T for Tango, A for Alpha. So what this actually means is call to action. And what that means is when someone lands on a page, it's actually giving them a clear instruction to click a certain button. So when you go on a Facebook ad or something like that, then you land on a one-page website, and then it will have something giving you a clear instruction. Like, so there'll be everything else on the page, but then there'll be something just telling you to do something, like click this button. That's called a call to action. It's calling you to take action. action on that specific topic or whatever it is that they're trying to make you do. Next one, number 9, is CTR, which is standing for click-through rate. So this is used on everything. Anything that, shows something as an impression or a view. The point of someone actually seeing something on the forefront and then clicking through is what is used for a click-through rate. And click-through rate is used to actually represent the percentage of how many people saw your actual, video or your content and then actually clicked through and converted, into an actual viewer in that sense. So it could be someone who's just seeing it as an impression on the page, and then when they click through, they become a viewer of where they actually view your content. Okay, so that's used on Google for search results, and also YouTube and any other search engine or anything that displays your content in that sense. Yeah, so how many people, it's the percentage of how many people click through. Next one, number 10, is LTV. This one's really interesting because this one means lifetime value, and what this stands for is basically how much someone will spend with you over a certain amount of time as a customer, and this is all based on averages. So just say, for example, that you make $100 or £100 per sale from a customer, and you get 10 customers, and then on average only 5 of them stick with you over the next 3 months or something like that. So then what you would do is you would take all of the revenue that you've made, just say for example, I'm going to use a silly example, but $500, £500, and then 5 people stuck with you. You would basically take all of that revenue and then divide it by how many customers came through on average. So if you obviously had 5 people stick and they were all paying you 100 per month, just say 100 people, 10 people come in, obviously 5 people stick, okay, and they stick for 3 months, paying 100 a month. So that's 500 times 3, which is 1,500, and then you would basically divide that by how many people came in as a whole, because even though the other 5 are not buying, they're still accounted for because they're obviously engulfed into some averages, and that gives you the actual value per exact person. So if we were to divide that by 10, it's 150. Sorry, just had someone drilling outside, bloody hell. So basically, yeah, so if you were to basically divide that by 10, so 10 is for the amount of people that initially came in, you'd get 150. So that means each person that comes in has a lifetime value of £150 or dollars to you over the next course of 3 months. So what that tells you is that if you were to go and pay less than 150 for a customer, you're going to be in profit. Yeah, okay, so if you paid like 100, you're going to make 50 back over the next 3 months. If you paid only like 5, then you're going to make 145 on average profit per person over the next course of 3 months. So that means if you go and bring 100 people in now, you can expect to make, I'm very terrible at maths. So 100 people times 150 is 15 grand. Okay, so if you were to go and pay for advertising and you obviously brought 100 in, you obviously will expect to make about 15 grand back, okay, over the next 3 months. Then we've got KPI, which is actually standing for Key Performance Indicators. So this actually lets you know, based on your metrics, whether you're in the red or the green of your business, and you operate within these metrics, like within these barriers in that sense. So this will take into consideration how much it's costing you to acquire a customer, and how much obviously your profit is on the other end, and whatever else. And it will give you these metrics that will tell you, okay, if you're within this, you're within your KPIs. If you are outside of that, you're outside of your KPIs. And that helps marketers to actually do better advertising, and it lets them know when to close down an ad and when something's not working, or when to scale it up if something's doing really well. So it gives you those good indicators. Okay, now the next one is a very generic business term, which is ROI, which stands for return on investment. So this is something that you might see in stock market, property, all different industries. And what that means is basically, if you invest, how much are you going to make back? So if you put in 10 into the machine, how much does it give you back out? And this could be used for different time frames, so be it from a day to a year, 10 years, however long you want to use that metric for. Now the next one is SERP, which is SERP. And this stands for Search Engine Results Page. So like, for example, when you are doing Google, SEO and all of this stuff, like ranking websites on Google, and you want to know where your website is, what position it's in, you would use a SERP tool, and that basically shows you where you're ranking inside of the actual Google search engine. And that could be used for YouTube as well, but obviously we don't use that in that industry. So it's more used for SEO, which we'll get into what that means as well. And that's the very next one, interestingly. It's actually actually search engine optimization. So that's SEO. And what that is basically optimizing your content for a search engine to go up in the ranks, to show up number one. Okay, so you do SEO for Google, SEO for Yahoo, SEO for Bing, SEO for YouTube, all of those different platforms. Now the next one is CMS, and that stands for Content Management System. So that's used to describe platforms like Squarespace and WordPress and Blogger, all of these different places where you can create content and it can be managed there under that system. Okay, so that's what that stands for. Now the next one is SaaS, which is Software as a Service, and this is used to describe any online digital service software that provides a service to people. So for example, Alex Becker's Market Hero, that's an email marketing software. That's a software as a service. Okay, then you've got obviously things like GetResponse and landing page builders and all these different things. They are all softwares as a service. So anything where you have to log in and actually use the tool online, it's a software as a service. Okay, and it's obviously a software that's used as a service. Next one is SMM and SMMA, which stands for Social Media Marketing and Social Media Marketing Agency. So this is actually the whole industry of social media marketing in a nutshell, in an abbreviation. And this is used to actually describe social media marketing. So this is when someone forms a company of some sort, of where they go and sell services to third-party customers and businesses, and they help them to increase their traffic to their business through social media. So that's exactly what they do. Now the next one is UV, which stands for unique visitors. So you might get a total amount of visitors, which is, just say for example 10 people come in and then they view your things like over the course of 50 times. So you see like 50 visits, but that's not really 50 visits because only 10 unique people made up those holes. So this will give you a more accurate actual metric to see how many people specifically came in through the door. So although those people might have viewed everything inside of your shop, it's how many people walked in, and that's what unique visitors basically shows you. Now the next one is UI, which stands for user interface. So this is used to describe any dashboard on the internet, anything that you use to actually manipulate or create something on the internet, whether it be WordPress, YouTube, or like Facebook, anything. It's all the UI, so when you're actually on all these social media platforms or anything, it's the actual user interface. Even when you log onto your phone, it's called the UI, the actual screen and how it's formatted, like it's different on iOS to it is on Android. This is called the user interface. And the very last one is a very funny one, which is called DMs. All of you should know that from all the music that's been going around, but DM stands for direct message or direct mail. I'm sure many of you have met your partners through this method. I certainly did meet my own partner through this method, interestingly enough. But that stands for DMs, and that's just direct message or direct mail. And this is one of the ways that we're communicating effectively in 2019. Anyway guys, that is the 20 different lessons. I wanted to make this video. I just thought it'd be really interesting, really cool. I hope you like it. If you do, make sure to subscribe and also leave a thumbs up on this video if you are new to the channel. Thank you, and I'll speak to you soon.